All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another day in the stock market. Yesterday was a crazy day, straight up pretty much all day long. You don't get that very often. So while we were pretty high on distribution needs, I think we're still a little bit high. A lot of those haven't died off. Huge Boeing 37 MAX order canceled as criminal probe heats up. Oh, yay. That's why you don't jump in front of those events. Okay, let's check out the distribution days. 6 on S&P, 4 on NASDAQ. So we're still doing okay. NASDAQ overcomes Biogen even after a 29% drop. Wow. I guess I should put my chat up here in case Nick wants to say hi. It's usually the first one lately. Chip stocks lead. Okay, chip sector is up 19.9%. Intel, oh, look at that, forming a pretty large cup and handle. 26% deep, looks good. And you can see that's where I had a crossing. We came back and retested lows. That would have been hard to hold on to. Currently looking pretty good. Look at some of the big ones. AMD. Nvidia had a massive day yesterday. It's like 5%, 5+%, I think. Yeah, 5.5%. SMTC approaching a buy point, they say. Okay, there you go. There you go. No pocket pivots to speak of. We got that gap down on earnings. It's going to kill the chart for a while. Yesterday wasn't even that good of a close, but it is an outside day above some moving averages, so that's good. Ideally, like to see more volume. Hard for me to jump in when I don't see volume. That's just me, though. And AVGO. Oh, we didn't even notice them moving. We had them here. They moved on earnings. And looks like with a gap roll here at 300, maybe a go. All puns intended. Saw some interesting ones last night. AVGO. Let's check those out. OAS. One of those turnaround plays. Pocket pivot right there. Trying to break out of an early range. I really liked the look of this one. Look at all these green days right here. See, that's what I like to see. Okay, so let's check out some plays on OAS. What's up, Nick? I just put the chat room there for you a minute ago, buddy. Like, Nick's going to want to say hi. Looking at OAS right now. Looking at a couple chip stocks that IBD was talking about. None of them look super to me. OAS looks pretty good. This is a turnaround play. See how down low it is here. But great volume on the right side here. You have earnings right there. Pocket pivot, probably. And actually, these may not be a pocket pivot based on that bottom day, but I'll give that one a pass. So OAS is a smaller name, $6.50. 200-day moving average is way up here. You're welcome, Nick. So this thing could have some nice gains on it. Let's say just up to 7. I don't want to get greedy on these. Yeah, no. See, it's not my favorite. Not my favorite. Sometimes you look at the options if you're trading options and it just doesn't work out. But stock-wise, I think this would be really good. You're looking at some pretty decent percent gains. That's like 10% gain right there. That's not too bad. If you hold it until maybe catches the 200, you're looking at maybe 30%. That's pretty good. CPE, also one of those turnaround plays. I'm going to have to get used to trading these. Look at WLL, Whiting Petroleum. Huge volume right there. Big volume, and then follow through yesterday. So this one could be a good one too. If it's going to get over that hump right there. Literally, there's a hump right there. Let's get over it. A little mini inverted head and shoulders. And we're looking at I got to get back to my bread and butter here. Let's see them getting back to 30. Let's see what that does. So NASDAQ opening about 0.5% lower today, maybe giving us some opportunities for some pullback buys. All right, actionable list is pretty red. So is my general list here, my global watch list. Lots and lots of red, so let's not be scared by that. MMNFF having a nice little gap update here. They have news or something. $250 million investment from Gotham Green Partners. And that could be interesting. Some of these investment announcements have been pretty good. I don't even have options on this one, I don't think. No, I don't. But this looks like a good stock buy right at this open. I give it a few minutes, see what it do. Yeah, Lumber Liquidators is the biggest one. Other than this is an ETF of the Russell, and yeah, that's down only 1% for Lumber Liquidators. So let's probably stick with the actionable list here and see what's what. What was that? Tandem? Yeah, that was Tandem. That's pretty frickin' green. I actually know nothing about Tandem. Let's look into it. '97 composite rating. Manufactures medical devices for people with insulin-dependent diabetes. Back in the day when I had a stock group here locally, we would kind of make fun of diabetes plays because there seemed to be a lot of them, and Americans tend to be fatter than the rest of the world. So, yeah, there you go. What did we call that? Those were good days, man. I miss those days. Back before Node got a big head. Those were good days. What's up, Ian? It's going pretty good, man. It's been a while. The big green SM NASDAQ day bring you out yet today? Big green day in the markets. Let's go back to trading. Tandem looking really good here, though. Let's put this on the actionable list. TNDM. Looking good. AMRN. This one, we're noticing maybe finding support here at this 50-day moving average. Just tested it twice. I've got an alert right on top of it. Let me line up a trade. Even just back up to that 23 level may be good. Maybe give it 22. Don't be so greedy. That's not too bad. Excuse me. Hodling my mutual fund, huh? That's cool. As long as it's a good one. Hodl away. Hodl away. I don't mind AMRN right here, though. Well, on about right here. Um, so 418. And we're looking at 19 call. Yeah, 50-day support. So I'd like it to break this range. That would be great. Still a little bit of ways to go in the trend line here, though, in AMRN, but all right, some green coming back. VFF, this thing has been a rocket ship. I put this on, like, I think earlier this week. I noticed it over the weekend. So it's nothing I could have done anything about, but man, when you see something like this, you just gotta pay attention and go for it. Or at least pay attention. I can't go for it way up here. I just can't do that. But getting some green back here. So we got Acacia, Match, NBEV, C-Trip, NVIDIA having a pullback. Skyworks having a pullback. Stone having a pullback. After yesterday, we mentioned the buy rules coming back through the bottom yesterday. Came all the way to the top. Actually made a new high. So this looks pretty good. Definitely bigger volume than that down day. So Stone is looking pretty good here. There's some distribution properties definitely to this one, but so far so good on this gap. So another test of the lows here could be another entry point. So Match pulling back prior to breaking into highs. This may have broken this kind of pattern. Looks like maybe not, actually. And what else just popped up here over 1%? We got Twitter. Twitter had a decent day yesterday. It was getting nice and tight, and then it popped up, I guess, the day before yesterday. And then yesterday had a nice pausing day. Today continuing. We'll see if it can get out of this triangle or what it's going to do. There's your 50-day. There's your 200-day. Rallying this morning. Pretty good. Is there news or something? Hundreds of millions of user passwords exposed to Facebook employees. Visible in plain text. Oh, that's hilarious. That's a great start right there. Look at those candles, man. I don't know how far this is going to go today, but those are some good first two candles. What's up, Eli? Eli, check this out. You're going to laugh your ass off. You see that? Facebook says millions of users' passwords were visible in plain text to employees. Hey, screw you, Eli. Screw you. Okay? Mine would not be plain text. It would be camel case, all right? I guess that's still plain text. You give me too much credit. All right, AMRN. What are we doing here? AMRN, I'm looking for a little bouncer off the 50-day. Initially, it was like friggin' 10 years ago. I mean, I know it's about rapid iteration and stuff, but come on. 10 years ago, you can't update your security, and we're all using them for OAuth. Is it OAuth? I think it's OAuth. We're all using them for OAuth, so you're OAuthing right into their right into their thing. Gonna trigger my alert here on AMRN. There you go. I don't know if you heard that or not, but April 18. Huh? The fuck? There we go. I believe you, Eli. Fully believe you, my friend. Fully believe you. And Twitter's getting a boost. Looks like off of that news, continuing to go higher this morning. So Twitter looking good. Yeah, I didn't look at Amazon yesterday, but yep, look at that volume, man. That is spectacular. You cannot argue with that. They're eating this at every turn, literally eating it. Trade desk looks like it's poking into new highs again. This thing won't sell off. O'Reilly Auto Parts, TTMI, Match.com pausing. Hack poked into new highs yesterday. Take-Two Interactive taking a break. NBEV, Fortinet, whatever. NBEV pulling back. CGC pulling a little bit lower here. Hopefully not too much lower. I did cut my position in half in this thing. I did take it the other day, but I cut it in half as it, which was good because it was basically a flat trade. IQ, Skyworks. Looks like pulling back in after a really good day yesterday. Look at that volume. Nice pocket pivot. I love these pocket pivots. Boom, boom. Institutional accumulation at work. Boot looking okay. Not right here, though. Hopefully it'll break out. ESNT pulling back to the breakout point and right there. So if this is something you're interested in, looks like it has a triple bottom so far down here at this breakout point. Hopefully that'll hold. Maybe you can 46 level, maybe try to get it over there. But maybe a lower risk entry down here if you're looking for a larger breakout. And a pretty high quality name, I do have to say. IQ. We just mentioned Stone a little bit ago. Yesterday, we talked about them coming back into the gap bottom and then rallied all the way through to the top. So it looks like it's going to be consolidating up here for a little bit. Recent IPO. There's your IPO base. There's your gap up in your IPO base. This thing could, in a year or two, you could see this thing, I don't know, 80, 90, 100 bucks. Just the way the chart looks. I'm not saying that with a crystal ball, but these are the kind of charts you see much higher over time generally. This is a very nice cup base handle, and then beautiful move up on volume. So these blue bars give you volume all the way back to the IPO. My average bars for some reason don't, so you kind of have to look here for the volume. But look at the right side of the cup. Expanded volume looks very good. So many people in crypto while stocks are doing things. I think it's maybe trepidation to move into stocks. It's a bit more regulated. Some people are intimidated by that, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they view crypto as a playground and they view stocks as something else. That's just kind of a general feeling I got or get from a lot of people. Yeah, because I was trying to push people into stocks. That's kind of part of what I was doing, and they didn't really take to it too well. Not push them, but lead them, I guess. Lead them into the broader financial market. All right, let's see what else, if anything, has moved up. We have MMNFF, which has just been rocketing higher this morning off of some investment news. This is a over-the-counter stock. Twitter filling out my trend lines right there. BLFS filling up this really deep cup. VFF continuing with a crazy run. BITA down here for some reason. I convinced Nick. Well, that's good. And AMRN comes right back down. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know if I view it that way. I view it as, I kind of view the pace of the stock market versus crypto is, stocks give you a chance to think, basically, is what it is. Crypto, you can't think. It's very difficult to really line up a trade. And in stocks, it can go, you can maybe have a day or two to decide. Sometimes you have to decide instantly, but in many situations, you have time to line up a trade. You can line up a trade in crypto, but there's so many twists and turns, it's much more difficult. INSG looking really good here. Double bottom, looks like it's curling up out of this base and getting on with the program right there. I like that. No pocket pivots to speak of, but definitely not moving lower. It's just kind of paused here. It's a very low dollar coin, 528. So you're maybe looking like maybe $6. But it's hard to say it won't sell off from that point. So you can see here a base, and then now we have another base. 20% breakout, consolidating, pretty standard stuff here. 17%, a little deep for a flat base, but it is a $6 stock. This is not IBD territory. 23.5% actually, so that would not be a flat base. That would have to be considered a cup and handle, and that would be pretty deep for a handle. Definitely deep for a handle. So this is definitely a mal-shaped base, not a standard base by any stretch. All right, Apple. Apple's been on a tear. We had them in a channel here. They broke out of that. We don't cover Apple a lot, but we did have it down here in the channel. And increasing volume on the way up is very good. Equals accumulation. Very similar to Amazon. I don't know if Facebook has that too. SIVB, I don't know. I don't know why. All I know is I bowed out on this day. I didn't think it should have that day, so I bowed out, and a good thing I did, because it's, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they just want to sell it, and you gotta leave when they want to sell it. So that is dropping like a stone. I didn't notice the close yesterday. Then this morning, wow, that's pretty aggressive, straight through the 50-day. So yesterday would have been a clear sell signal, a break of the 50-day on elevated volume. This stock is now dead. Speaking of which, I can probably take it off of my list here if I haven't already. Looks like I have taken it off my list. Yeah, looks like okay, it's gone. Don't have to worry about that one for a while. Still on my global watch list, so if it pops back up, we'll be able to see it. That's what your global watch list is for. Keep an eye on those. So Skyworks pulling back today, maybe giving an opportunity for a buy if we can find some support. Still didn't quite break out from the high over here. And BLFS continuing today, just moving this morning. That's a little. Looks like I was. Oh, that's not a trend line. I thought that was a trend line. Twitter, man, looks like it's rocking it today. And AMRN pulling back in more. And it had some good volume too. Don't go down too far. And showing some distribution right there. Already closing way low. You got to find some support, AMRN. You close that 50. It's going to be probably going to be a dead play. What? Oh, that's above. All right. A lot of stuff firmly back in the red. We had a little pop here a little bit ago, and now kind of a change in behavior a little bit. But after yesterday, we'll see how the day closes today. They could just be trying to scare people in the morning here. Fully possible. Come on, stay up, O'Reilly, otherwise my whole list will be red. The entire thing. Okay, so Chesapeake having a red day. Pulling down here. Let's go from the bottom up. ST&E coming in 4%. So far, volume is low. Chesapeake also lower volume. NBEV lower volume. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart trying to compare it to yesterday's open. C-Trip not quite lower volume. Take-Two Interactive above the trend line, but pulling back in here today. Also on arguably lower volume, maybe not. CGC getting lower here. Let's make sure we have a trend line up. And we're getting pretty close to that rejection of highs the other day. May not lead to good stuff. But right down here, right near support. Let's see if we have a big shakeout day today in the morning or something like that. Acacia Communications, they did make a recent high in this little base yesterday, pulling back today in much lower volume than yesterday. You can see yesterday's open, we had candles up at this 50,000 marker. Or the open, we had candles at 25,000. This morning, we're only at 13,000. So this should be maybe a day to enter into Acacia, but I'm not sure how much lower that one's going to go. That's a pretty nice little bull flag right there that it's already broke out of. So it's just kind of testing the waters. All right, Trade Desk was green earlier, now is red. Barely. Hack pulling back, Nvidia kind of pulling back. Yeah, not looking bad. Nothing's looking bad here. I'd say probably CGC. Is right in the middle of its pattern. That could go either way. Oops. Yeah, so this one can go either way here real quick. Ideally, we find support there, but as we've read some Bulkowski stuff, it should have broken out like right about here, two-thirds way through this flag. So we'll see if this doesn't do that. But MMNFF having a good day today. Let's see what some of the other MJ names are doing. Cron, falling apart there. MJ, looks like it's pulling in. And kind of a strange cup and handle little base. I think we figured out this was a base, a flat base. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Tried to break out here. And volume was good too, but unfortunately that was a stalling candle. And you see a little bit more distribution there in MJ. Nasdaq down almost 1% now. Well, Riley's still holding us up on green. Got to give the market a little bit of room. Match.com. I have this till April 18th. Acacia down 2%. That's not very good. Again, volume pretty low so far. I hope we don't increase. Now we're down a full percent on the NASDAQ. I wonder what they're worried about today. Weak Europe data underlines growth worries. Boosted. Dollar boost says economic worries undercut euro. Let's see what we have some weakness in today. ACB and MJ name. Recently had a good run. Kind of falling apart here a little bit. No wonder CGC is a little under pressure. Yeah, a lot of people are playing the fractal game these days. Probably be due to crypto. I haven't really seen so much fractal work since I can't really remember. They've tried to do that every once in a while, but it seems more now. It seems there's a lot more fractal work happening now than before the whole crypto thing came along. But I know a couple of good traders did it, but I think the problem is a lot of people know about fractals now, so there's everyone's like trying to get in on it, having a opinion about, oh, this looks like this market, this looks like this market. So I don't know how much emphasis I put into that. I honestly, in the past 6 months, I've heard 3 completely different market scenarios from some pretty well-respected people, so I'm not sure. Oh, Nike not having a good day. DB, TNA, Huya, CFG fell apart. Cron falling apart. I think CGC is going to as well. Coop, Car, 1.16% on the NASDAQ. And Bev, Hertz. Ooh, Future Fuel. Not the future anymore. WHD holding pretty nice here. This is an oil play. Tilray holding okay. Did break down from that large symmetrical triangle, though. You can see a Polka price out right there. The valuations on those MJ stocks are still amazingly high. TBT, where'd you end up? You just ran away from me. I guess I don't get to know. Stitch Fix, EC, Win, EOG, Fang, FIVN. Doing okay. What's up, Jake? Man, look at those volume pops right there. And FIVN. Talk about a parabola. This thing is a parabola. The whole chart is just a parabola. Let's go back to FIVN. Look at this thing. What chart pattern is it? Just basically a curve. The whole thing. That was that your 50 period moving average? Or no, that'd be the 50, that'd be the 40 week, which is akin to the 200 day. Just a curve on FIVN. Yeah, you buy that on a bounce to the 200 day and off you go. Tested the 50 day here. That would have been a good day to get involved on that one. Sherman-Williams. CRISPR never quite hit my alert level. And pulling in a little bit more. Not much to do there. YY. This is what I was noticing. This is bonds taking on the chin because the dollar. MJ coming back into my pivot point. Carvana finally breaking the frozen rope today. Oh, that's not good. Look for that thing to do some more basing at this stage. You start breaking frozen ropes, it's usually not. We broke it to the upside, pulled in. Now we're breaking to the downside at about the same price level. So Carvana's run could be done. Man, look at INS. This thing is just rock solid up here so far. Even after earnings, it's just holding tight up here. So it needs to close a little bit higher to have a 3 weeks tight pattern. Not sure if it's going to do that on a day like today. I'm going to buy some MJ. Let's see how today plays out. So a lot of those MJ names appear to be cracking right now, so I don't know if I would be jumping into the sector at this stage. It's my personal opinion. EVR's been basing for a while. Looks like it's getting lower towards that 50-day moving average. Grub just never amounted to anything. Skyworks with a nice pullback. This could be an interesting pullback play. Nice pocket pivot yesterday, pocket pivot the other day. Can't be mad at that. See what the volume does to it today. All right, NASDAQ pushing back higher here. Come back a little bit. So that's a half hour into the session. Maybe that's our morning shakeout, and we can get on with our regularly scheduled bull market. Let's see. Take a position then. Grab a partial position. You don't gotta take it all right now. There's Skyworks again, looking pretty. Boot. TTMI. Trade Desk. Nice 2% pullback in Trade Desk. I mean, this thing's only pulled back like 2 to 3% before it's rallied. So this could be a buy the fear situation on Trade Desk. Maybe on Netflix too. So we had those big winners yesterday. Sometimes what happens is you have these big winners, they pull back, and then like NVIDIA is a great example. Look at this NVIDIA chart. Pocket pivot, pocket pivot, pocket pivot. pocket pivot, pocket pivot. And then you get a pullback. These are potential entry points for some of these stocks. I would say NVIDIA is probably a prime one. It's only pulled back a little less than half of yesterday's move. And look at the volume here so far too. I think it's a little elevated, more than most. I don't know if it'll probably, I don't know, I can't say where it's going to end up right now, but quite a bit of volume up here without a lot of progress to the downside so far. We'll see if it'll continue. Oh, NASDAQ reversed back to 1.1%. Maybe we'll come in a little bit more here. Oh, I'm now fully red on my actionable list. And my watch list still has about the same amount of green on it. INSG is green. So that's an interesting one. Haven't seen Square. What's Square doing? Square had a pretty good day yesterday, and it's pulling in today. See how that one plays itself out. See if AMRN's been able to sustain anything. And it's getting down there towards my alert I just placed as far as breaking that 50-day moving average. Match.com. Match is actually already finding a foothold here, kind of, a little bit, which is nice. Volume's pretty light on the sell-off too. Look at that thing right there. Oh, look at our volume, half hour in. Really nothing on the sell-off. So they've just been eating this stock too. That's not even much of a pullback. 0.81%. This is nice. This is also, so yesterday we had a kind of a drop off in crypto. We talked about finding things that were not selling off. This could be another one of those. Find things that aren't selling off very much. We noticed O'Reilly the other day, not really selling off much today. And we've kind of had a little run here. And O'Reilly doing good. EDU. Almost took this off my actionable list, but I haven't yet. Holding up really well today. Match holding up pretty well today. Those are the only ones under 1% on my actionable list. Everything else is a bit lower. Acacia pulling in. We'll see how this one goes out. Still within yesterday's bar. So that's fine as long as we hold within yesterday's bar, I think. NVIDIA making another new low. Don't come in too far too fast, NVIDIA. I was hoping to see higher volume without downward progress. Yeah, there's a little bit of chop through there. See, there it goes green. Yeah, NVIDIA's looking pretty good. Boot. Like we said, Acacia, ESNT on the pullback. This one, though, looks like it just undercut that triple bottom. I was thinking about buying that one yesterday. I did not. I didn't. I don't know. It may reverse here, it may reverse tomorrow, but maybe take it out after it maybe closes this 46 level here. Like I mentioned that a little while ago. Let's throw an alert there. Eli Lilly flat today. Haven't looked at Lilly in a minute. Wow, look at that volume, man. Just amazing. And now we're back to normal volume, and we're we're going higher again. So it looks like that was some distribution, and someone decided to eat all of it. So that could be interesting. I don't think we're going to get any pocket pivots for the next 2 weeks based on all of this volume, but I mean, man, it's just pretty solid right there. Just freaking solid. Yeah, the leap. I haven't found a lot of leap strategies lately, Eli. It's what I was talking about the other day is kind of getting back to that strategy if the market's going to go back into a secular bull. Um, the Brexit thing is a little worrying in terms of us really sustaining a bull, and that's according to the news here. That's kind of what they're talking about with. You hear some economic forecasts that if Brexit goes no deal, their economy will be 10% smaller in 15 years. Um, I mean, I think that's kind of weird to try to forecast 15 years out. That's arguing that they're not going to do anything in the meantime in 15 years. It would be my assumption. I don't dive into those papers or anything, but well, kind of. I mean, we are a global economy. I mean, the U.S. is the biggest, but I don't know if it's good if Europe. Yeah, I don't see it as a positive. I mean, we'll get some stuff, but there's also stuff that it'll trickle around the world a little bit there. Anytime you have a global slowdown in one of the uh, if one of the world powers, like we had the recession, is in the 90s. I forget the year, but that was based off of Japan. It does, and Japan was a number two, so it does trickle around. I think what's your UK like number three or four or something. Well, it just has to go with the order flow. So if businesses are, yeah, I mean maybe you never know. You never know. If you remember when Brexit was announced a couple of years ago, it looked like the market was going to go into a correction, and we reversed immediately and very hard. So maybe there's a possibility that happens again here. Yeah, maybe there's a possibility of that. I'm not sure I know what you mean by that, Eli. You talking that the EU is doing a wealth distribution, or um, who's doing the distributing? Are you talking about like political social policies, or look at O'Reilly, man. Just a lot of strength in the face of this. That's really good. There's a flat base for you. There's a base on base pattern. You have a 10% base there and a 10% base there. Yeah, there's a base on base pattern. So if we break out from there, your target would be. Oh, looks like I already had it drawn. Look at me. 436 for O'Reilly. This could be a good play. Oh, Asia and Middle East. Gotcha. Okay. You're talking about the whole. Gotcha. Economic powerhouses shifting. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely could be a thing. Yeah, so O'Reilly here doing pretty good. Going out to September. That takes you out to. Yeah, daylight savings time happened. I think it was this last weekend. I was late to that stream because I live in Arizona. I don't do that. I don't do daylight savings time. Do you live in Arizona, Justin? Are you the guy that lives in Arizona? I got one guy that I know of that lives in AZ, but Oh, UK. Gotcha. O'Reilly. That looks really good. Base on base pattern, breakout right there, and then a pull back to the breakout point. Um, I missed that part of it. That would have been a really, really good play. It still is pretty viable. You look at some options. You're looking at 72 to 75%. Not my favorite, but this is it's a good stock. Definitely a leading stock. So interesting there. Twitter just getting on with the program today. Holding higher after that flag this morning. That's pretty good. Not really giving it up. Looks like AMRN is bouncing back a little bit right at my alert level, which is pretty much on that 50-day. Let's see if it'll sustain that or if this is a dead cat bounce. On the 5-minute, it kind of looks like a dead cat bounce. And Match.com. Very low volume today on the pullback. NASDAQ is back 0.87%, so we've recovered about a quarter of a percent. That's good. NVIDIA also recovered a little bit. Was down 2. That's down 1.5. Doesn't look like much. Maybe it's not. There's that elevated volume I was talking about without a lot of downward movement. They have been eating this down here, so could be a good little entry point here for NVIDIA on a pullback from yesterday's massive day. There's a huge day in NVIDIA yesterday. What else? FTNT. What are you doing here? Look at that, pulling back very nicely. Trade Desk was just down 2%, now down 0.74. EDU, Acacia. Still, oh no, it bounced back pretty good. Looks like it went down without me noticing it. Oh no, we noticed it down there. We'll see if, again, it's just a dead cat bounce or what. It's not very good volume. We'll see how that plays out. The end of the day really tells the story more than the beginning of the day. So hopefully we'll rally. But they may close it red just to scare people into the weekend. Maybe we'll rally again on Monday. Excuse me. IQ falling apart. Skyworks has pulled in quite significantly. Google has new streaming gaming service. Oh, I didn't hear about that. How's Stone doing? Just chopping in the middle of our range here. Nothing wrong with that. And that's about it. That's about it for those ones. CyberArk, what are you doing up here? Oh, wow. CyberArk, new highs. Sell-off? What sell-off? Let's see if it'll... not quite new highs. Looks like that bubble was on yesterday's candle. But, yeah, definitely no sell-off on CyberArk here. Just getting on with that program. These cybersecurity stocks are really leading the market. AMD. Let's take a look at AMD. I think we looked at them early this morning, actually. IBD was noting chip stocks took the lead yesterday. And you can see right there, pretty good. Yeah, not a bad day on AMD so far. In line with this recent bullish trend. Looks like a double bottom pattern right there. Although it did poke higher, that's not ideal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not even quite qualifying. Double bottom also needs 7 weeks, just like a cup and handle does. O'Reilly still holding up. Not really selling off at all. And you can see our crop of stocks on my actionable list has actually popped up a little bit. Chesapeake still lower, Stone a little lower, TTMI. But these other ones have kind of started poking their heads up. NVIDIA now down 1%. So that was your accumulation period right there. NASDAQ 0.73 coming back. It begins. It begins. Maybe. We'll see. 0.7. Green filling up my list up here, although not very full. Not very full yet. Oh, Match.com back to almost flat already. Cool. Yeah, if we can stay off of those lows today, I mean, look at that. We're only 40 minutes into the trading session, and 50 minutes into the trading session, we're already off of the lows. If we can maintain off the lows, that would make for a good low for this candle if you view this in historical fashion, wouldn't it? That'd make a nice low. And then we can, I don't know. We need a couple of, we need some of this action. You know, we'll get a couple more little pullbacks like that. We haven't had one of these in a minute. So this one started 18 bars in from this prior peak. So this one has been 14, 15 bars. Maybe we'll, if we don't start it now, maybe we'll start it next week. Another little pullback just to scare the crap out of everyone. You out of here, Eli? I should probably do the same thing. I should probably get out of here. Match, positive. Right there, one of the first ones to move out of the actionable list. O'Reilly's been holding up pretty much most of the morning. NVIDIA back down under 1%. Acacia coming back quick. And that's about most of those. CGC. Oh, CGC bounced. Look at that. Look at that. CGC bounced. Interesting. Right off that low line right there. So far, we'll see what happens with that. What are some other MJ names doing? Cron bounced a little bit too. That looks like that bounced off the 50-day as well. Or the 50-day. I don't think CGC is on its... Oh, I guess it is on its 50-day too. Cron bouncing off the 50-day. We'll see if that holds. They have earnings coming up here. 3:26 before market central time. Is that Tuesday? That is Tuesday. So before the market Tuesday, Monday's your last day for Cron. We had ACB, which was much lower. Looks like it's bounced as well. Look at that bottoming candle right there. That's a little mini capitulation on ACB. Recent highs of 1035. All right, Twitter, TZA. TZA is still up there. NASDAQ 0.65%. INSG. Apple doing good. ABBV. BLFS. What's AbbVie doing? AbbVie's actually got, looks like a much longer trend at play here. So it's above the 50-day today for the first time in a little bit. We had this blog up here. This thing's been very, very choppy. It's a large pharmaceutical company. Got AMED. And match going a little bit lower. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, we'll see how the market closes today. That's really the test. Is the close. Cybersecurity stocks are leading us. Have been and continue to lead us. So we'll see how those guys win out the day today. See how those guys do. That could give us a little bit of insight if we're going to have the pullback now, or maybe maybe in the near future. But we've had here's our, if you remember our follow through day, we're right there. So in the Nasdaq, we're up about 9.5% from that follow through day, which is pretty good. That's a good year for most portfolios. Yeah, I'm up well over 10%. That's good. Yeah, my TQQQ position is doing good. If you guys remember us talking about that, I haven't talked about it much lately because we've been in a bull market. So up about 40% in that position. That's why we do this. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully our day can hold up nice here today. If it goes back in past like 1%, then we're probably going to see one of these pullbacks. But after a couple of good days, hopefully we can sustain a rally for a little bit. And hopefully, I know Brexit's coming up really quickly. I think it's next week or the week after, and we'll see how that toys with the market. So, all right, guys, I will see you on Monday. I won't see you tomorrow. Today's Friday, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'll see you guys on Monday. Stay safe out there. Have a good one.